We got.
Welcome to Pillow Talk, where real and intimate conversations take place. I am your girl, Kay Carter here, and today we will be discussing modern women and men versus traditional. And I have a few people on that's going to give us some nuggets, give us some tea, and I'm ready to take some notes. Do you hear me? All right, so we're going to start off with my girl, Breon.
Hey, I'm Breon. My Instagram is @Breon. Is right here. As you guys can see, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I've been with my husband for 11 years now, and I'm excited to be on the show. So thank you for having me and to just get into this topic.
Yes. And now we're going to go down to Richard.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Richard. Instagram is @Zuniga1984. Married, going on 6 years. Second marriage, if I'm being honest. So I have some experience, and father of 3 kids and do accounting, and I'm here to talk.
Yes. All right, let's go over to my girl, Gabby.
Hey, you guys, it's me again. My Instagram is on the screen. I guess in relation to what we're talking about, I am single and unmarried, never been married, no kids, but have, I don't want to say extensive, but I have dating experience and I have thoughts, and I'm excited.
All right, and then Robin.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Robin Anderson. My Instagram hook is at Blakely Street. Also, I have a coffee shop opening soon called Star King Cafe. Been married once, 3 kids, and actively dating. And I'm ready to get this thing going. What's up, Kimpo?
Hey.
All right, and then we'll go over to Nishan.
Hey everyone, my name is Nishan. You can find me at IG at NHNS. Oh my God, I'm sorry, a little sleepy. At Nishan H_Inc. Just got married for 1.5 years, and I work in IT.
Awesome. And then we'll go over to my girl, Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla. My Instagram is KKAI_Oliver. I've been married for 8 years and I have 2 children.
Awesome. All right, Keish.
Hey, I am Nikisha, and my Instagram, you can follow me at Books in 30 Days. And I'm just here to, say what I gotta say. Hear what needs to be said. Okay, hear what's being said, and let's talk.
All right. Last but certainly not least, my auntie, my uncle, the Carter gang is going up.
Hello.
Uncle, auntie.
I'm Terry.
Hey, you guys, I'm Anthony Carter.
We've been married for 42 years.
41 years, babe.
41. I don't have an Instagram. Sorry.
And if you want Instagram, you have to ask my niece.
All right, and his Instagram is at @BlackRose_BBQ because he's doing this thing all the time, y'all. So I'm really excited. Thank y'all all for hopping on today. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I have a question for y'all. All right. So modern versus traditional. And I want to start off with a little bit of the traditional. All right. I want to find out who's cooking in your home. Are you doing the cooking? Guys, are you doing the cooking or is your woman doing the cooking? Hello, I'm listening.
Well, just like this here. I just got through eating some smothered chicken, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, black-eyed peas, rice, cornbread with a Pepsi, and I'm just getting home from work.
So you know who did the cooking.
All right, let's see, put it down. That sounds like a whole Thanksgiving dinner right there.
It was a Wednesday, Sunday dinner.
Not Wednesday, Sunday. All right. So who's cooking in your home? Somebody else. Y'all tell me.
I would say my wife is cooking 90% of the time. She does make our meals for us.
Breon.
I'm doing the cooking.
Oh,
Yeah, I do the cooking. Omar is not. He goes into the kitchen to get drinks, and that's about it.
Okay, Richard.
I just started. I want to say about 6 months ago, I just started trying to learn how to do it.
All right. So in other words, your wife been doing the cooking.
Yeah. She
All
has.
right. So me and Gabby, I think the only two single people on here. Well, I don't know about
I'm
Keisha and Robin. Oh, okay. You single? Like you didn't say, girl. You just said I'm here to talk. Okay.
Listen,
But
I'm 9 years single.
All right. Well, we cooking in our house.
Yes.
All right.
But if you were in a relationship, would you want to do the cooking or would you want it to be split?
Well, I had been the one that's doing mainly responsible for the housework. I don't mind that, but it would be nice to have a partner. Like it would be nice to have somebody to share in the responsibility of household chores and responsibilities, period. And I'm so used to doing everything myself now, but it would be nice to have somebody to come in and do stuff, absent the gender roles, even though I don't mind them because I don't want to have to take out the trash, but I will. But cooking, if you can burn, I want to be blessed with your cooking. You know?
All right. In my household, when I get to my man, y'all, because I'm praying, okay? I'm going to be cooking, but I do want to know he can cook that 10% as well. Kayla, are you doing the cooking?
Definitely cooking.
Robin, we didn't hear from you. Are you cooking?
It depends. I have a selective diet, man. So it depends on what she eating.
Okay. So now that we got that out the way of who's doing the cooking.
Having a barbecue. I said only time I'm cooking is when we having a barbecue. I get on the pit.
Listen, we love your finger licking barbecue. So you definitely get to going with that. So with the cooking, y'all, I don't know if y'all been on social media and y'all been seeing this question. Who's eating first? Is it the men, the kids? Who's eating first? I grew up seeing the man eating first, and I think that's a traditional thing.
Yes,
I saw the same in my family. Big gathering, the wives always serve the children and husbands first, and then they last. So I saw it all my life.
That's how my wife is as well. When we have a little get together with her family, she's always making my plate first before she makes her own.
All right, so Nishan and Richard, uncle. All right, men, how are you feeling when the women serve you first? How does that make you feel?
When the women do what?
When they serve you your food first, you get the first plate.
It's so traditional to me. It's almost like natural. I don't give it a second thought, but I think it's all because we learned it from our parents.
Okay.
Yeah, we was taught the man first, and then your kids, and yourself.
Auntie Terry, so okay, on the traditional side, why do you feel it was taught to you to serve the man first?
Well, we've seen Nana, which is his mom, we've seen her do it. And I think we picked up on it because Papa, which was his dad, he was always out there working.
Yeah.
And look at it, a hard working third to eat first.
Okay. Breon.
I'm serving the kids first. I have a lot of traditional traits, but there are some things that I'm not doing. And if we're at a family event, you better get up with me and get these plates made. We got 2 kids. I'm only one person. So we both need to get up, and you can either help me make the kids' plate or you can get your plate, because that's what it is. Now, Omar he's like half Hispanic. So when we go to his family house, sometimes I do get up and make his plate because I don't want him. But if it's my family event, I'll be like, come on, let's go eat.
You don't want to be labeled as the bad wife, like, oh,
right?
She not
Exactly. So I'm like, let me get up and make his plate.
That's funny.
I always feed the kids first, though.
Right. Does anyone agree with Breon that the kids are eating first?
I would say I can agree with that. My wife and I, we don't have any kids yet, so I guess that's why it is me being served first, and by her being Hispanic. So when she and her family, especially, it had to get some used to, because I wasn't used to, being served first in a relationship. So it took a little bit of time to get used to that.
Well, I wouldn't mind them eating first anyway. It don't matter to me. Done traditionally through her the way Terry get down. I mean, rather she serve the kids, second, it don't matter to me as long as everybody eat and enjoy themselves.
Right. I definitely
paying my bills.
Auntie, what you say?
The way I look at it, the kids ain't paying no bills.
Okay. Let them know. I like that. I think the men, I don't know, again, I saw that the men should eat first. And that's just me. And I think that's part of the traditional traits I have for myself. But with the modern women, I think sometimes they're like how Breon is saying, the kids is eating first and let's do this together, right? I think that's the difference between the say who's that?
With Quitty and them, I seen that with their kids and their husbands. They both get up and serve the kids.
Yeah, they do.
And so, but here, which is Quitty's husband, he knows he's gonna eat before his kids. But if she get up and fix it, she fix his, or he fix the kids.
Okay, that's teamwork making the dream work right there. I need some of that. Let's tag team it. Whoop, right?
Yeah, I feel like it just depends, because sometimes it's about how old your children are, the age of them. Sometimes you need to get them settled, so you would kind of serve them first to kind of get them taken care of, so that y'all can enjoy and eat your food together and in peace. And I'm hearing a lot of traditions in here. I'm hearing a lot of cultures. Like it matters your cultural background, and also it matters the personality or character of the two. Like somebody come in and they getting out of work, they just want to eat, they tired. Like it just depends on the situation to me. But I think the traditional way is the order of the family, which is husband, children, and whoever's serving always eats last anyway. Like that's like even in business. But I feel like that's a pretty standard way. But modern times, things is changing. You got husbands at home, honey, cooking and taking care of the kids because the wife is the breadwinner. Like I see that. So it just depends on your household composition. Times have changed and things have changed, and it's just about what you want and what's gonna make you happy.
Times
have changed. So
I don't know when last time I heard someone say Medea.
Right. Yeah.
Besides Tyler Perry movie, I don't know when the last time I heard someone say Medea.
Who said Medea? Somebody said Medea.
No, I don't hear anyone saying Medea no more.
Yeah, like that's
There's
traditional.
no more Medea.
Oh yeah.
That means they still say that. My aunt, they call her Medea. And definitely it's way traditional over there. Her and my uncle been married, oh my God, 43 years. So yeah, that's definitely old school. I want my grandson to call me Amma. Anything but granny and grandma. Call me Amma, call me anything.
Okay. So that goes right into the conversation about modern and traditional, right? So modern tends to be what everyone think is like, okay, this is here and now. We're changing. We're growing with the times, right? So I was talking to a good friend, and he said he liked traditional women because they're like less combative. That modern women tend to be, like they're more outspoken. Like there's like usually they're always arguing. They feel when it comes to modern versus traditional. Does anyone have anything to add as far as modern women tend to be more outspoken than the traditional?
All you women are outspoken, modern or traditional. When you got something to say, you just go ahead and say it. So I can't weigh the difference between the two, because once y'all get the popping, you popping. So there it is. But the thing is, like, who's gonna hang after all that mouth trashing, or
Yeah.
Well, I think an
He is.
important thing to
Mouth can
identify
go.
is
No, when I say who's gonna hang, who's gonna stay in the relationship? Most
He is, because my mouth goes. I can
I
run
see.
my
I've never heard you say anything crazy, so you definitely say it when
Huh.
y'all at home.
Yeah. Huh.
Who, me?
I guess
Yes.
I didn't act up in public that day.
Right. Richard, what were you saying?
I was saying, I think obviously everyone has a different idea of what traditional is, right? Traditional women are kind of known as, you could say, submissive, even though that word doesn't really seem to sound very good. But traditionally, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
But not necessarily that they can't speak, right? So my mother and my grandmother, they spoke up, but they were also submissive in a way where I guess if the man made the decision, that was it. But they will still be able to speak. So I think obviously everyone has a different idea of what that is or what that means as far as tradition and what it entails.
I personally think the term submissive is not a bad thing. I think when it comes to the term submissive, it reflects in a marriage. As a woman accepts a man's invitation for marriage, she's choosing to say, hey, I'm going to allow you to lead our household, but also that I want to have some input, but I believe and I trust that you can lead. So I'm cool with hanging back and being submissive and support you in your decisions, that you're going to make the best decisions for our family, right?
I agree.
I agree.
So do you feel that modern women are less submissive?
I don't know about this younger generation. People like to talk about generations. It kind of seems, it appears. It would,
right.
you see Instagram, you see the stories, you see the quotes, you see usually it's more like take charge for yourself, right? So
right.
I think that kind of seeps into relationships.
Right. So, Gabby, chime in whenever you're ready. But I definitely think that the modern forward women tend to be more independent, like they're more trying to figure out things for themselves versus for themselves and another.
Well, I think it's difficult to have the conversation of modern versus traditional without bringing up the patriarchy or whatever. This concept, in society that basically man has the control and, yeah. And it to some people, it sounds like a bad thing. To some people, it's just what it is. And I think that women these days, they're just getting to a point where they have maybe rejected that. And that's it's just what it is. The patriarchy is just what it is. Our society is that way, where man is the head. And I just think women these days they've just decided to reject that. They probably haven't seen that in their own lives. They probably have been abused by men, have been in situations where men had that power and that power was abused, or they just have decided that they want to be the head. And I think that everything is valid. But it depends on the type of man, because there are some men who, just like women, have dismissed that idea of patriarchy and have been able to kind of shake themselves from those societal thoughts. There are men who have been able to do that as well. There are men who've been like, I don't think I'm inherently the leader. I don't think I'm inherently on top. So when you look at a woman who is maybe less submissive, maybe she would work good with a man who doesn't have this innate desire to, be the head or make the decisions or feel the need to be served. And I hate to say those things in that type of tone, but sometimes that's what those things come down to. Like,
so do you think a man that
served
tends to be less traditional and more modern will work better for a more, woman that's willing to lead? So then is it like, opposites attracting at that point?
Yeah, because I think that man isn't going into it going into relation with the woman with this notion that he has this position and it can't be compromised. Like that's just his position. I think when you go in and you look at woman as, yes, we are different, but we are both, God's creation. We're both, man, but this is woman and this is man, but we're both God's creation. We have different roles and we are different, but not higher. One is not higher than another.
Right.
Yeah, it's difficult, but I think it's very, very possible. It just has to be a good mix. I just think that everything needs to come when it comes to relationship. It's just about love. Like I hate to make it all big and butterfly or whatever, but it's at the end of the day, it's about love. Like as a woman, why would I not want to serve, a plate to my man who I love? Why would I not want to do that little act of service? But at the same time, I think that I would feel uncomfortable if I was with a man who expected it or felt some type of way if I didn't, or felt like he needed to
like, let this flow. Yeah. Let it flow and not
love
feel
me.
like there's a job description and you're like, hey, you have to live up to this.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree too. I think that was great. Like that was great. Somebody else was saying something, so I was gonna just chill.
So I was wondering, when it comes to the modern woman, has the independent woman has deterred like the traditions of marriage, of relationships, or people having the hope for that because they have been feeling like I can do without, right? So I wonder if the whole independence movement propelled the modern woman.
I think that that women are just in a place now where it is just a little bit more common for us to not be coupling up so young. And I think that does kind of like force you to kind of think more independently and think more in a way, well, I got to get it done. I got to figure it out. I got to pay these bills. I got to cook for myself. I got to do for myself. Statistics are going to show, first of all, marriage is not, as common. The rates are, going down. And then, but particularly for Black women, it doesn't happen as young. So yeah, we gonna be independent for a lot longer. And it's hard to break out of that mindset of like, it's been just me looking out for me. Now I gotta, have this dualistic mindset when I've always been the one that's had my back. And I don't think it's necessarily like a chip on your shoulder. It's just like a readjustment. And sometimes it takes a little time, but I think for the right man, the right patient man who understands that woman's journey, you guys can work together. They can work together.
Right. So does anyone want to add anything about the modern or traditional woman?
No, I agree with everything that young lady just said. It was well put.
I think so too.
The only thing I would like to add is that I believe that we talk a lot about the modern or traditional woman, but a lot of women, like kind of playing off of what Gabby said, have become modernized because men are modernized. They're not out there looking for wives at young ages either. They're out there trying to do whatever they want to do, live their lives younger, which causes women to have to go and live their lives, and then which causes them to become independent. So by the time they're older and these men are now ready to settle down, they're independent and they're like, well, what are you bringing to me? Because I already created this whole life without you.
Right. You can say that again, because that's how I'm feeling at 32 over here.
Yeah, that's I mean, I had a conversation with a friend earlier who, go ahead. I'm sorry. Somebody else.
I say that's rough, but it's fair for you guys to feel the way that you do, as far as you built yourself, you built who you are today for all struggles that you've been through as far as I can't say us men, but as far as men out there, you know what I mean, feeling their youth, touching around from here to here till they decide they want to settle down. I was just fortunate enough to have a girlfriend who is now my wife, was able to stick around a person like myself. And, now she's my best friend for, before marriage and to where we are now, hell, she's my best friend. We got 41 years in together. And traditionally speaking, from what I learned from my father took care of a village. And when I say took care of a village, my mom was a stay-at-home wife, and which was a job in itself.
Yeah.
Amen.
But every man, woman, boy, and child who came to my parents' house, my moms took them in. But who was footing that bill? My dad. But never once questioned my mom, like, you know what I mean? Why am I feeding 17 kids?
Yeah.
So I probably got a little far ahead of myself, but that's the way I feel right now to this day. I feel as though I'm an image of my father, and whatever my kids and grandkids bring around, whether it's friends, neighbors, and strangers, I'm willing to, not ask questions about why they eating at my dinner table. Just joy and happiness for us village people.
Yeah. So the traditional is making everyone feel welcome, making everyone feel at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 I can't really speak on behalf of women because I'm a man, right? I understand that. There was I wish I could quote the exact study, but there was a study that traditional relationships did last longer, right? I think Gabby mentioned, is Gabby correct? She mentioned, divorce rate, it's a lot higher these days. Marriages don't last as long. As someone who was previously divorced, I understand that. And some will say that tradition has a part to play in it. Now, the study also showed that traditional relationships might have last longer, but they weren't necessarily happier relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The woman would just conform to, really, it kind of boiled down to religious belief, because that's where the tradition comes from. Man and woman, man will work while the wife stays at home. And the tradition of religion passed down. Now, these days, religion is explored more. It's more okay to not go to church compared to back in the day. Like, if you didn't go, you were a bad person.
Right. It was frowned upon.
So
speak on it.
So tradition starts falling apart in that sense. So then the other aspect is, you might have been in a traditional relationship not happy, but what happens when you get divorced? The man he suffers in a different way, but there's a reason why they have, when you get married, you have to sign
prenuptial
agreements and all that. They have it for a reason. So women now have to say, hey, I need to have mine, because you just never know. At the end of the day, I'm going to be stuck not being able to do certain things. So that kind of also plays into why modern women say, hey, I need to have my own, because you just never know, right? And it's harder to find a relationship these days that lasts a long time. So what is a woman supposed to do? Like,
I'm married to my money. Hello.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I'm kidding, y'all. But at the end of the day, a lot of relationships, don't last because they're like, love can fade, but me working hard, I can count on myself. Yeah. So I think that's a lot of the modern, mindsets for men and women. So definitely Richard brought up a key point about the prenuptial agreements. So in relationships, if that's modern or traditional, I would like to hear, who do you think needs to pay the bills? with this amazing world that we are living in, all these high costs, is just the man paying the bill? Is just the woman paying the bill? Or are we working together as a team? Baby, you got the gas, I got the light, you got the mortgage. How are you doing it?
And that's a good point, because most people is taking partnerships, and that's where it all began. You just really cannot survive on a one person income unless you're making, especially once you start having children, unless one person's making six figures. And I mean in the high six figures, like to bear the expense that it takes now with inflation, and just to have a comfortable situation, and just to like encourage their gifts. Like if you want to put the child in gymnastics or karate, that's an expense. And, you gotta, daycare if you want them both to go out, or, just whatever. Sometimes people are getting educations while the other person is working, like whatever it is, and people partnering up, it's really like a business agreement. It's like whatever we gonna agree on, that's how we're gonna have to work this out. And people do have to look out for themselves. I've seen people stay in horrible relationships because at the end of the day, they just really could not afford to take care of themselves. So they're stuck in a situation where they're with a partner whose attitude is like, you need to know your place, which is sad.
That's a great point. That's a great point, that people stay in relationships just for financial support and gain.
And it happens all the time. And so a woman is left, or you have the situations where men, and I've seen it, leave their wife for younger women. And then they didn't gave their whole life to raising children, and now he's skipping off with somebody else, so it's like a security thing for people. And I think that values, morals, and how you treat people and love languages, honestly, modern versus traditional, there's a lot of key points that was made about what traditional really is and what it means when we're saying it, which is the way that we saw our grandparents or great grandparents to do things, the way that things are done in a family setting. It has to do with culture, religion, where you were brought up, what you seen growing up. Because a lot of people didn't see that, but they still know it's the tradition because they seen it in church or they seen it at a friend's house. But really these days, and a lot of people are not having children, they're having pets.
I work. Dog mom, stand up.
Listen, I work with people who are with women who are the providers of their home, and then their significant others are home with the pets. So,
Lord,
it's whatever works.
Definitely going back to the point of who's paying the bills. I know, Nashawn, we had a conversation, and you did point out a key point for, I don't know about your bills, but for you and your wife.
Right. Like she was saying, I will agree with her. It does take a team, because I wouldn't be able to do this on my own, and she wouldn't be able to do it on hers. We come together, and it kind of just happened naturally on what we were paying. So as far as like our mortgage or whatever, we go half on that. All the other bills I take care of. All the groceries, she take care of that. All the other little minor things like toilet paper, tissue, and stuff like that, I take care of. But she wouldn't mind getting those things if it was needed for the house. Like
right.
I've been kind of rested. I had surgery on my knee, so I ain't been able to do much as far as going out to get those things. So she has been picking up on my behalf, and she has no problem with it. So we work together as a team to be able to do those things together.
Yeah. All right, Kayla, did you want to add as far as do you feel like you're traditional in that sense as far as the bills, or are we doing this together 50-50?
He does the majority of it. I'd say probably if I had to put it into a percentage, he does 80%. So all mortgage is him. I handle groceries most of the time. Sometimes he still does that. I do our life insurance. I do our phone bill and the water bill, but he does everything else.
Right. So you would say, do you feel like you're actually more traditional than modern, or do you feel like personally for yourself you're traditional and modern?
I feel like I'm a hybrid, if that's a thing.
Yes,
a little bit of both.
Between the two.
I'd say both.
I think the word traditional have changed a lot over the years. Because what's traditional to me back then is not traditional to you guys, but it's not really modern either. Like with the bills and stuff. When I was you guys' age, I didn't believe in paying any bills or rent. He had to pay it all. It was him paying it all. And my daughter had to make me realize that one day when she said her and her husband, boyfriend at the time, was going half on.
Let me see you.
They said they was going half on rent. I just didn't understand that part. How you go half on? I really didn't. But during that time, like you said, it took two incomes. Back in our days and the things we was doing, it was always his income. Now I did work. I had my own, but I believe that he was the man of the house. He's gonna lead this. He's leading this household, so he's paying the bills and the rent and the mortgage.
So, Auntie, can I ask you a question?
Huh?
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
So, from then to now, as far as the prices changing, the mortgage for homes has definitely increased. Do you still have that same mindset with that changing, or
to a certain extent, I still believe a man should pay the mortgage and the rent. But I also believe that a woman need to get in there and help pay bills, buy groceries, take care of the household. But I strongly believe a man should pay the rent or the mortgage.
Yes.
If they in a position to do it by themselves.
Right. Uncle, you want to add your 2 cents?
Well, I'm gonna just say I'm blessed to be able to take care of every single bill there is in my house, and whatever money she get, she could, take me to dinner or something.
Now, don't get me wrong, man. I have got out there and did my part. I do my part.
No.
When our backs are against the wall, we both come out swinging.
Let me just clarify. Our kids are grown. And this lady has done so much to me that when I was able, I really, really told her, hey, baby, you ain't got to work no more. I got you. And that's what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Listen, Auntie, you've been working since working, all right? I grew up just seeing you at work, so I already know. But that definitely...
I have did my part. So it's not like I just sat around and expected this man to do everything.
For sure. You're a hard worker. Definitely learned some tricks and trades from you. Uncle, you definitely brought up a great point that I wanted to bring up. You said she can take me out on a date. Yeah. So I think a lot of the also with modern that women are saying, hey, I have my own money and now I want to treat you. Right? Yeah. So how does anyone else feel? Do you feel like that is a modern trait for a woman to say, hey, I want to take my man out? Or do you just feel like that's just a nice gesture? If you're digging someone, you're going to show them like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I can treat you as well.
Nikisha owe me a meal.
Oh, I'll take you out and I'll pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I pay for dates. It's not a thing for me.
Oh, Nikisha, while you at it, so why do you feel like, hey, I'll pay for the date?
I feel like you should offer or at least go Dutch. And this is the thing, I'm like offended by the whole thing of the whole culture of men thinking, well, I'm not about to be taking no women out because women be out here just dating men for free meals. And to show you that that's not my intentions, I'll offer, hey, you going to go Dutch, you got it. But if a man, it means a lot to me if he says, I got this. Because to me, I still want to be spoiled and pampered. That's my love language. It has nothing to do with tradition, but to me, it has everything to do with the way that you're willing to love. Like being unselfish, because, believe it or not, it's men out here looking for sugar mamas. Like they looking for somebody to take care of them. It's men out here.
You can say that again. You can
listen. Hello.
Look, and I ain't giving out no sugar. I'm giving salt. Get back,
girl. Like I had somebody be like, so how do you feel about everything going into one pot in the bank account. I'm paying child support for 3 children. And, I don't like to be. So I was like, but the whole conversation, I learned a lot just from listening to him. I'm saying, okay, he look for a woman to take care of him. This is somebody that's going to clean out your bank account, honey, when you ain't looking. It was just some things he said that I know, okay, are you really in us? So you just trying to find you a woman to take it back? Like, what is it out here? So sometimes it's about, seeing the intentions, but I have no problem with it because I want a person to know up front you're not being used. My intentions are genuine. I'm really genuinely looking for somebody to be a partner. Now, as far as like the having children things and all that, I'm a woman of a certain age. I've already done that. I have a 21-year-old. I have a grandson. I have also, a kid in elementary school. Don't judge me. I'm just saying that I ain't trying to keep starting over again. So he has to be in a certain place in life, and I'm at a certain place in life, and let's meet in the middle and let's see how we can make this work. Like, so I've been the, traditional, I don't know if I really like that, but I've been, what I've seen from my aunts and uncle, like I've been the person that cooked meals from scratch every day, still worked, still took care of the children. I can't remember. I'm trying to think, damn, did they change diapers or did I do all of that? Like I did all of that. So, I mean, it really would be nice to know what it feels like to have somebody take care of me. And I think I deserve that. I think I've worked hard, and I think I'm naturally a pampering person. So I'm not all taking no give. So it shouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let's travel, let's go, let's have fun. We don't feel like cooking, let's pay for food. Like,
right.
and
so
I can
Brian,
cook, so
are you taking your husband out on dates?
No. No. Okay. So when we were dating or just boyfriend and girlfriend, obviously, sometimes I would treat, sometimes he would treat, because my mom always taught us that whoever asks the person out, they foot the bill. So if I ask him, you want to go out to eat, then I'm obviously paying. But when we got married or when we start having kids, he's paying because it's multiple of us and you're feeding your family. So no, I mean, I will take him out on a date, but he already just knows to pull his card out.
Oh,
baby got me taken care of. Hello.
Right.
All right. What, Omar? Is Omar?
Yeah, no, he watching the kids.
Shout out to Omar, handling business.
Right.
I love it. So, Richard, Deshaun, are you feeling like, okay, you want your woman, as men, I'm sure you guys take care of your bills, just like my uncle said as well. But are you feeling like, hey, I want my woman to make sure she treats me, take me out on a date too? Hello.
I like
Just give her a bit.
now. Go ahead. Who wants to speak? Or you want me to speak? All right. So again, when we first got together, it's just like how I said I had to get used to her serving me first. I remember we went to the movies and she was like, hey, I'll get the tickets and you'll get the popcorn, and we would just share like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's new. And she's like, yeah, my dad, instill that in me and make sure at least going half on it so you don't have to just take on all of it. There's times where I'll pay for dinner and she'll leave the tip, and vice versa. She'll pay for and I'll leave the tip. And again,
I want to leave the tip. I'm leaving $10.
And,
I do leave the tip. Hold on, I do leave the tip.
I'm leaving $2.
Not anymore.
$3. That's something that she taught me, just leaving tips. So, because I was like, hey, this is their job. I don't need to leave a tip. So I'm learning things as we, we work together in this marriage. So if you feel like paying, it's not even an ask. It's like who's ever going to just put it out there. So I'm normally the one who's getting ready to pay for it, and she'll be like, no, I got it this time herself. I was like, well, okay, much appreciated.
Right. So Richard, you were saying?
So I like to be treated nice. That's all,
Okay.
But I guess, I'm in that sense, I'm modern, and my idea is the only traditional way is traditional. Anything that skews away from traditional is modern. When I first met my wife, our first date, she actually took me out. She asked me out, and so we went out. She took me to the movies. bought me a gift and everything, took me out to dinner. It was nice.
Oh, obviously it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It was, I wasn't
Okay, that's what I'm gonna start doing now. I know
I
it
wasn't
worked.
used to it. Not used to it. So that was a little surprise. Now that we're married, we have a system, right? We have a system. It might not be as romantic, but there's a system, right? So I guess to throw it out there, we have three bank accounts. I have my own, she has her own, and we have a mixed, right? And we already did the calculations, I guess, because I'm in accounting. This is what I do. Say, hey, I bet every check put in this amount. All the bills come out of there, so we're all sharing the bills. If we're going out as a family, it goes in that from that bank account. So, but now if there's a different occasion, like an actual date, it's whoever asked, right? If she wants to go out and she asks me, then she pays, and vice versa. So, and we don't think
that's neat.
Yeah, it works. It just works. It flows.
But we only got 3 children.
All right, I actually wanted last thing, and we're going to segue from this main topic, but I wanted to ask my friend Gabby, because Nikisha said her point on this one. We're singling and mingling, and right, so that means we go out on dates. And I noticed for myself over the years that I'm modern in the sense that I also will invite the man, so he's not also feeling like I'm using him. So it's like, hey, the feeling is mutual. I'm interested. I want to take you out. I'll take you out for a cup of tea. Hello. He feels so good spending them $4. I'm not going to lose, okay? I don't care what it is, but I am making sure that also if I'm interested, the man knows as well, and I'm spending a little coin. Gabby.
Yes. Well, I was trying to wait for the question, but I guess initially it just depends on how it was, how he approached me or how it all started out. But typically I found myself dating people who I have already known or something like that, and it's more of a friendship. And in that case, I don't feel uncomfortable at all paying. I don't feel uncomfortable paying, and even if it wasn't like that. But it's the same thing that your cousin was saying. I just don't want anybody to think that I owe them something at the end of the day. I don't want anybody to think that I'm using them. I really do enjoy, good energy and good adult conversation and getting to know people and stuff. So I'm more than happy to pay. But yeah, I would like the idea of being like courted and maybe like 2 or 3 dates in a row and they pay for them.
Yes.
I like that idea, but I don't find that it happens very often. But yeah, I don't have a problem with paying. Like I said, I take care of myself. And I can feed myself. I can feed myself a lot. So why not, add another person to it, So
yes. So that leads me into, fellas. So when I think about traditional, I don't know about y'all, but back in the day, I used to be like, seeing my mom, I'm like, her boyfriend will, be like, you want your nails done? You want your hair done? I don't hear men actually doing that anymore. Robin, do you guys do that? Is he still Robin? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. I mean, I think it depends. I don't mind pampering my lady, but in the same sense, though, I feel like I'm trying to tread lightly on here because I feel the stares. You know what I mean?
Mean what you say. Say what you mean.
Because I'm listening. Who takes you to the coffee shop?
Because think about it, like that's another expense. We just talking about how inflation is now, man. So if we gotta take care of the mortgage, we taking care of car notes, insurance, and we gotta take care of all the different bills. hey, you might, a couple times you might do it yourself or treat me to a pedicure. I want my feet done too. You know what I mean? So, hey.
So in other words, you saying no, you ain't paying for her to get her hair and nails done. Auntie, is Uncle paying to get your hair and nails done?
Oh, yes. Yes. But like you said, back in our days, that's what they did. They got your hair done, your nails done. And even if you was going out and had kids at that time, they paid for babysitters. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. It's like figure it out. So I definitely think that is a traditional trait because I don't see that, now in this modern time. But also I do see that, a pedicure used to be $10? Now it's $30. Don't get the paraffin. And you want all the extra scrubs and rubs. That's $40 plus,
I don't even want to get a haircut anymore. They $30 a pop.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that cheap? I don't know. No.
No.
Oh, you better go to your brother charge you?
He mad at me right now, so it might get messed up.
Dad, you gonna come out with a crooked hairline. You know my dad moody.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Dude. Right. So, Richard, are you paying for your wife to get her hair and nails done?
I have offered to pay a few times, and I have paid a few times, but she's doing it on her own majority of the time.
Richard?
A day she's offered something. She's like, you know what? I'm going to go get my hair done, my nails done. I was like, okay. But when we'll go out like on our anniversary or something like that, I take care of all of it.
Yeah. Too laid back. He just too calm. He got to figure that dude. What's his name? Richard, the other brother.
Okay, one?
The other one who just got through talking.
Nashawn?
Yeah. His wife must be feeding him a lot because he's just too laid back. He's too cool. He's too modern. He's traditional / modern. He's too cool.
You know what? That's what I told her when she asked about coming on. I was like, we're a mixture of both.
Yeah. You too cool for me, man.
Huh?
How old are you?
32.
Wow.
Yes.
Someone taught you good.
Like that. Wow. Breon, is your husband paying for your nails and hair to get done?
Okay, no. But the thing is, I don't get my hair done often. Like the last time I got my hair done was probably a year ago. I do everything myself. So I'm very frugal when it comes to just spending money on myself. So that's a thing. Like he does take care of the bills. He does take care of dinners, but it's not like I'm out here splurging.
Yeah.
I do everything myself. Like I do my own nails. I do my own hair. The biggest thing I splurge on is plants. Like I don't spend a lot of money. And then if I do decide like, I want to go to the nail shop to get away from the kids, I'll pay for it myself because that's just like me having some me time. I'm going out just to get away. I don't expect him to do it, but he doesn't offer.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Now you're like, we have to have a talk. Right. Right. But definitely I feel it when you're going out for self-care. But that definitely leads us in our last comments. I want y'all to tell me the difference. What is your opinion of modern and traditional? Like, what does that even mean to you?
It has no meaning to me.
Uncle, was that you?
I say it has no meaning to me because right now I'm too old to judge you youngsters. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously your woman is traditional, so don't be rubbing it in because she doing all the cooking and stuff. Handling business over there.
That's why I say I can't judge. I mean, I'm cool
it's
where I am.
It's hard work, though. Being traditional is hard work.
Because I know for a fact, I'm overtime to her. She getting overtime every time she deal with me. You know, it's a job dealing with me plus time and a half.
Yeah. You can say that again.
with all honesty, and the things that she do for me is just like, it's everything. It's everything. And it couldn't be no me without her. I mean, yes, I could say I'm a provider of my family, but anytime I want money in my pocket, I gotta ask her, can I have some money? Or how much money can I spend?
Okay, let them know. Richard.
You don't like spending money.
No, I don't like spending
You don't
money.
like spending money.
I don't like shopping. I don't do nothing. If it was left up to me, I just keep a clean pair of drawers. That's it. I'm cool.
Not just the clean pair of drawers. All right, Richard, what is your opinion with the difference between traditional and modern?
Well, the difference, there's a clear difference, right? As you can see how things were done before and how they're done now. And that, in my opinion, the idea of tradition seems to always get stuck on the old ways, but traditions change. There's a new tradition, right?
Yeah.
So some will say it's modern. I see a new tradition. Now, traditions used to have a set role. The man would work, the woman would provide the services in the house, and so on. But as long as you have set roles, it is still a tradition. Now it's a new tradition. You as a woman, this is what you do, and this is a man, this is what you do. Both parties have to agree on it, because traditionally they have to agree too, right? Like back in the day, the woman had to agree to be at home with the kids, and the man agree to work hard. So now there's new tradition. It's
right.
That's my there is a clear line, but I like to see it as there's a new tradition. And
I like that. Breon.
With me, I think that what Richard was saying is very true. Like right now, it's kind of like everybody's creating their own traditions. And I want to piggyback off of that and say that
my grandson,
everyone's relationship is different. And you it's not necessarily like with me, I have a lot of traditional ways, but it's not like I started my relationship off that way. It's just what it became. So like I said, initially we were splitting dinners, or we might go Dutch. I might pay for him, might do that. But then after time has passed, like I said, we've been together 11 years, and then you have kids, and then you have responsibilities together, then things mold into more of a traditional way. But I still have like some of my modern ways. Like I'm like, come on, let's go make these plates, or whatever the situation is. But like I said, it just molds into it. I don't even go to the gas station. Like the car just gets filled up by itself. But in the beginning of the relationship, like I had to put my own gas and go to the gas station myself. So everybody's relationship is different, and it changes over time. So obviously everyone's just doing what works best for them. Whether that be you moving towards more of a traditional role because of, like I said, we have a family, so I'm going to stay home with the kids because I want to be here with them. If we didn't have kids, I would probably be more of a modern woman. It's really just a circumstantial thing, I believe.
For sure. Robin.
I'm going to piggyback with Richard, man. I'm like, to me, I'm like Bruce Lee. You got being a teapot, you got to be like water, you know what I mean? So some things I'm modern with, some things I'm traditional, but then it depends on the situation, yeah, it just depends, you know what I mean? I think it depends on the person too. Like I said, we have to talk in the beginning to see what you're comfortable with, what I'm comfortable with. We come into the middle ground and then see what happens, So I'm not too swayed either way. I'm like in the middle of that whole yin and yang,
For sure. Gabby.
Sitting here thinking, I guess for me, what it probably comes down to is who has and this is gonna sound bad, but to me in my head, it seems what it comes down to is who has the ultimate control or the ultimate decision, the ultimate say-so in a decision. I think that if you are in a relationship where there is a person that is the one that is going to make the ultimate decision, that who you always have to, defer to make the ultimate decision. I would say that that's more traditional. And I think more modern is looking at things more 50-50, and not looking at it as there is a one person in the relationship who is going to be the ultimate decision maker. I think, to me, that's what it comes down to, the difference between modern and traditional.
All right. So Nikisha.
Unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Traditional would be any relationship construct that's based on, I want to say old school, but that's like kind of like defining the word with the word, but things that you've seen done by your parents and their parents before them, or taught to you in a church or a religious institution about what the order of the family is and how each person is to behave. And also, I think it's most certainly on a patriarchal level, and patriarchal constructs. When we say traditional, I think we're all in agreement with that, because we talked about it and we focused on the man and what it means to serve the man and the man's needs, et cetera, versus more modern, where people are relaxing the, I guess, standard gender roles and coming more into themselves and what will cause them to grow and develop in peace as a person. So that will be more modern. Like, as the person that I am now, how would my involvement with a person fit and what's best for me? So it just really, to me, just depends on what's best for the person and where they are in their life and what they're happy with. My 2 cents.
All right, Nashon.
Okay, I like how she said that, traditional, seeing things that your parents did, because I was going to mention that the tradition, like the old school tradition, is kind of dying off because you don't really see that anymore. Like, I never was brought up seeing the man open the car door for the woman, but best believe I'm always opening the door anywhere we go to a restaurant or anywhere.
That's right, speak on it.
Say it again?
I said, that's right, speak on it, yeah.
But as far as opening a door for a woman, that was never shown to me. And my wife don't really have a problem with it. We had to talk about it before, but that's where it's it's like a gray area. And that's why I say our relationship is kind of modern. As far as making the decisions and things like that, being traditional way, she does come to me. He's like, okay, what are we going to do here? What's the plan for X, Y, and Z? And she's expecting me to make those decisions, which I don't mind, financially, or whatever. And then when it comes to modern, us going half on like our bills and things like that, working as a team, that's where it's a little bit more modern. So it's kind of hard, and everybody agreed today that relationships now, you just based off of what works for you guys. And that's what we've been trying to do, is what's best for us.
Okay, that was awesome, because I was definitely going to sum that up with modern. People are doing what works currently for themselves or currently for that whole relationship. And tradition is holding on. Really, at the end of the day, it's like, all right, chivalry is that woman being chivalrous toward the man and vice versa. Right? Like Breon said, her car fills up on its own, right? Because her husband is going to put the gas in the car. You're opening the door and you're doing those certain things. So it's really people defining, at the end of the day, what's going to work for you, right? If it's your prerogative, if you want to have traditional things in your relationship, or modern, just whatever is a balance for your relationship. So I will hope that Rob.
I have a question. So when a man opens a door I'm gonna ask some ladies on here. He opens the door for you. Do you reach in and open the door for him too? Or you just let him open his own door?
Ain't nobody in no 1962 Mustang and you gotta unlock it. Boy, you better open that door.
I saw that in the movie.
I would reach over and unlock the door for him. I do that.
What she talking about? These automatic locks now.
I push the button.
Listen, I open the door for my man. The ones that you walk, I walk up to the door first and open for the both of us. Yeah, I'm like, baby, I got that for you. You got all right. You got to get your wins when you can, y'all. But I thank y'all so much for coming on, taking the time out of your night. Modern versus traditional. So next week, y'all, Pillow Talk has been going strong, all right, for 9 weeks. Next week is my 10th week. Pillow Talk on Never Level TV. Clap it up for your girl. Next week, it's The Swirl. Interracial relationships. All right. Nashawn is definitely going to be on there. So I'm excited. We're going to have a few other couples that's going to be telling us a little bit. I'm down for this swirl. Okay. So make sure y'all tune in next week, Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Again, it's your girl, Kay Carter, here on Pillow Talk. We're real